Well, hello there, and welcome to my little arty corner of the internet. It's Monday, it's the 15th of November 2021. We're halfway through another month. I can't believe how the time is flying by. I've been out today, I've done lots already. I've got all the revisions done for the first third of the templates for Adorable Dogs, so they're off to be approved, plus about the same number of new templates from the last week, so I can work on them. I've also done one, I think I've done one new one, entirely new, but my head's got to tick around some other things. So that's one thing. I also went out and I braved a supermarket, as we call them over here in the UK. A store in America, is it? A superstore? I don't know. For some bits and bobs of food that I can't get from my Able and Cole. Luckily, it was really quiet in there, even though it was lunchtime-ish. And I was able to get what I need, which is fantastic. Bit of a witter, I'm vegetarian, and they have this amazing sort of like not beef strips, which make the most amazing curry. I have to say, I'm well impressed. So I'm a bit addicted to them. I tend to go like that. When I find something that's savoury, that is pleasant, and I couldn't tell you if it's anything at all like meat, it's just savoury, it's pleasant, it's got a different texture to vegetables, it works really well with veggies in a curry. I did a stir fry last week. That was lovely, but I don't know what was wrong with the rest of the stir fry. It just didn't taste right, so hey ho. Perhaps I'm off Chinese food. And I go through phases like this, but it was lovely. It's quite chilly out because it is grey, so there's no sunshine today. But the colours are absolutely lovely. I love autumn, and I love seeing the dark trunks of trees, which look black, a lot of them, against the bright autumn foliage. It's like being able to see the bones that's underneath. It's like almost like an X-ray in some ways, but with colour, and I love it. It just makes me smile. There's a lot of things make me smile. Yeah. Anyway, one thing that's made me smile is a comment left by Marilynn Miller, who suggested something that was ticking through my head. So, you know, the thought's out there, the universe has connected it. And so I'm going to do this today. So rather than draw something new, I'm going to go through some of the latest patterns that I've created, which are all of these ones that are basically on the same kind of grid. So I will, oh gosh, I may not get them all done today. Let me put that out the way so I can see it, because that is important, you know, being able to see things, especially as a reminder. I've got this here as a reminder as well, and I've got some squared paper. Squared or dot grid would work fine. I prefer to use these because it helps me set things out in an organised fashion, shall we say. And you can see the little holes here. It belongs in my disc-bound art journal, sketchbook, diary thing that I'm using at the moment. I've got plenty of colours out because my plan is to do this one step at a time. I will zoom in as well so you can see clearly, and I'll stop after each step so you can look and see what I've done, so that hopefully the colours will help you to see what I've done. That's my plan. It's an experiment, so I'll need feedback from you all, and thank you for all your lovely comments. Thank you for all the subscriptions, the likes, and everything else. Thank you. So let's have a go, is it? So let me start with a simple one now then. I am going to start with black because I can, and I am going to zoom in, so hopefully you can see. Okay, let me get myself situated. There we go. So this could be a bit of a weird one. So I am going to draw, I'm going to make it 4 squares wide on my paper, but I need this to be a bit longer, so I think I'll do it 3, 4, 5, 6 squares deep. And I think that will work for a lot of these. And what I'm going to do is to create sort of like the basic units of a pattern, what Zentangle call fragments. But these are the basic repeating units. There is a name for them. And it's not fragments, there's something else. But my head is just not working on it. But it's that one unit. I'm going to use a palish pen here. Oop, not the thick end. Let's go for the thin end. And mark the centre line. And for this one, I also want to go, I don't want to go all the way up there. I'm going to go about halfway up. And I'm also going to mark the centre line going down. Now, I'd normally do these in pencil, but I'm doing them in colour so you can see where they are. Okay. And I'm going to pick another colour. Let's go for a, yeah, really doesn't matter, does it? But the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to, just checking I'm in focus, is I'm going to draw this way. And then this way. I've missed the point down there. Okay, so I've created that diamond shape there. Okay, different colour. That'll do. What's this? Fuchsia? Purpley pink? Oh, it's fuchsia. It says fuchsia on the side. And I'm going to do them here. So I'm echoing those patterns, creating chevrons. That is half, part of a chevron. It's just this essential bit here is where they are mirrored. So I suppose I could simplify this one even more. If I do 1, 2, 3, 4. If I do this, mark it there, we'll mark it there. And then if I replicate these lines, we'll have one there and the other one there. So that's just the top half. So this would form a pattern itself. And the lines in between would represent the blocks of masonry, because these would have been done, this would have been one block that would go in an arch. And it'd be rounded, it'd be more of the bottom would be narrower and the top would be wider and they'd be curved. So they would fit in that shape, that arch. Working it out has always been a fascination. I cannot get my head round how people sculpt, sort of, like statues and things, but I can understand how I would be able to create these in clay if I can build it up rather than taking it away and, refining the shape by taking it away. Anyway, so that's the basic, one of the basic patterns. So you're going to have to let me know if that helps. So I'm going to put some dotted lines in here so we can see that we've got the full, this particular one full size and this one a little bit smaller. Now then, I'm going to do the same here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make them all the same size at the moment because it's easy then to see the variations. And here I am going to, again, oh, I've done it one longer. Oopsies. Not paying attention, was I? Because I've already got the length there. Not a problem. Like this. Now here, I split this section and this section equally. This one, I'm going to make it smaller. And let's have a look at how that changes this pattern. Yeah. So this is more of a square shape there. So that's the first step with the green. And now if I use a purple for the second step, then I have quite a different kind of feeling to it. And the way these would go, if I extend this, so you can see, it would give a different kind of shape here. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can. It's like this one. It would be. I'll just extend the bottom part so you can see how that works. Okay, and it needs to go to there. So it would be like that. And I'll have to put the lids on. I am fastidious about putting lids on, and I know it can be really annoying. So if I just extend these, even that bit, let's make it a bit of a pattern, is it? So it looks like it's deliberate. Because this is how we rock in the realms of Angela. You can tell I have not rehearsed this, can't you? But you know, you do it on the fly, as it were. I said grid paper's fantastic for doing patterns like this. What I'll do underneath now is I will draw. Will I draw? Shall I draw? I don't know. I'm so tempted to. Have a look. So 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8. So what I will do, and I'll do the same for the one above. I'll put 2 blocks together. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that you can see the difference between them, but I'm going to use pencil. So splitting it in exactly the same way, the central line. Then I'm going to do halfway up, but what I've done as well is I've split them into, so this is one block up to here to my pencil. So I've split that one block into half. I'm splitting this into 2 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That it didn't look equal. So I've got block 1, block 2 here, or fragment 1, fragment 2. And instead of having this line here, I'm going to pop it further out. And you can see the grid is the same, except for the distance between the horizontal lines. So let's have a look at what happens. And I will draw these in black. So that's the first one in green. And I'll do it the same here. First in green. Except I'm drawing the green line in black. Because, and then there's purple lines here, so it's from this line diagonally here, so from not the central line, the next line up to the outside of the fragment block. Whatever you call these things. got to be a repeating pattern is a tessellation, but I'm not sure what you call the individual parts. I must have known at one time, because I know there's a specific name, but I can't bring it to mind because I haven't used that word for so long. It's just not there. Okie dokes. So even with just that, you can see there is a difference in the shape and the feel. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to put the black line in where the borders, or where the, the sections would be different. And then I'm going to have a look at how I can put in, use a thicker pen. I'll use this brown one, not a thicker line, but how I can add detail here. So what I'm going to do inside this one is I am going to draw, I've got the line here of the grid underneath, but I'm just going to just pop an aura inside. It's just a smaller version of that lozenge, and the same here, it would be a smaller version of the square. So we get that, and I think this kind of aura-ing, repeating the line is what helps to bring the pattern out. Just really simple things added, but it makes it so much more complex. Okay, now then, I could split this diagonally or horizontally. I could even do it in squares this way. I could even, what is fun, let me show you, is I'm going to put a mark about there, mark about halfway along from the center point of this lozenge to its tip, and I'm going to join these that way. Do the same here. And then, oh, I know what I've done wrong. So it makes it look like this is sticking out. What I should have done was put the dot up a bit in the middle, sort of like there, and it would have created that. Let's do that here. So I'm going to, instead of putting the dot on the central line, I'm going to lift it up. So it's about there and about there. It doesn't matter how much, the more you exaggerate it, the more sometimes of an effect it has, and sometimes the weirder it looks. But here, now that really does make them look like they're sticking upwards. As if you're looking from below, it gives it a real sense of some volume. And here I'll do exactly the same with these lines. And just adds that kind of border there. Now this would benefit hugely, both of them would, from shadow. This one looks a bit strange, this one looks a bit more pokey outy, but shadow would really work with this. My head says this would be the darkest area. This would also be pretty dark, but perhaps not as dark as this one. And this one would perhaps be in some kind of shadow, though it really doesn't matter. It could just be light at the top and dark at the bottom. It would work. But this one would really need some sense of shadow or highlight. You could do however it works. I'm thinking this side could be shadowed and this could be in really bright light, as if the light's coming that way. Okay, what else can we do here? Well, if I've done lines inside this one, I can do lines around this one as well. Nothing fancier is needed. Shadow, highlight will really help. This one is one to watch for. Oh, oops. I am taking up to join this brown line. And I don't know if you can see the shape it makes. It's creating one of those arrowheads, chevron-y arrowheads. So just by subtly changing how the line is drawn, and even though there's some variation in the width here, it's not really that noticeable. It'd be less noticeable if I'd drawn this a bit more consistently, as I did the others a bit further away from the black line. But again, this can be shadowed, highlighted and shadowed. I hope that helps, or this is helping. Please let me know in the comments. How about if we try something a little bit more complex? I'm going to have a look at the medieval tile I drew yesterday. So I'm going to make this one quite big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you think that'll be big enough? Let's go to 8 then. 6, 8. Yep, I am just drawing these on squared paper. It's not that expensive to get these days. It's very popular. The dot grid is, especially because of the bullet journal craze, or the popularity of them, and the awareness that's been raised by them of dot grid and quadrille paper for working on. I mean, I've always loved quadrille paper. It's always been one of my favourites. It takes me back to primary school, sort of like, oh, I don't know, when you start learning maths. So from the age of 5 upwards, even in secondary school, I think, we'd have squared paper for maths, because it would, perhaps not in secondary school, can't remember, but definitely in primary school, it helps set out all the numbers, doesn't it, in columns and rows, so you can see what you're doing. I wasn't very good at maths. I was adequate to a point. Still had trouble with some of my times tables. The 7s and the 8s are the confusing ones. The middle bit of 6s, yeah, I get confused. But I've always loved it for writing on, for keeping notes on. It's just easy to indent and keep everything neat. And yeah, even with the dot grid is just a dot at the corner of the squares, so you lose the lines, and they're usually very pale grey, so that they're hardly noticeable once you fill the page in. Anyway, so this is going to be the basic fragment or section for that medieval tiled pattern, and I'll do it in black rather than individual. I'm not sure the individual colours will work. You'll have to let me know if doing these lines in different colours is of a help. Okay, here I've put the construction line, the main construction lines in fawn. Here I did them in pencil. I think the fawn would work better in some ways, perhaps, though I can't rub it out. We'll see. Oh, wrong size black pen. Go for the 05. It's a big old drawing. Okay, this is much bigger than I draw normally. So the first thing to draw, I'm going to draw it like a zigzag, but it really is, in this case, it is a diamond in the centre. So that's nice and easy, yeah? Okie dokes. The next thing is to draw another diamond within it. Now, because I'm working on this squared paper, it's really easy to draw that line a consistent distance away. So there's one inside, and I need to do one that is on the outside of the square as well. Wasn't watching what I'm doing, overran. It's fine. There we are. One's a bit wobbly there, it bends out a bit. So we've got the original square here, smaller square inside, and then drawn lines around them. These would aura another square inside, so this line would go down to another square, you know, to start another square, as would this one. So I'll show afterwards, okay? Right, the next thing I want to do is I do want to square or split the square up into 4 equal sections. Each one of these is also a section of a square. Okay, so this pattern could repeat as a border, or it could repeat as an overall pattern. They all could. These would be interesting to do as overall patterns. Oh my goodness, my head is going now. Right, back to this one. So for the pattern I did, the medieval floor tiled pattern, this one here, inside each of these we've got these petal shapes. And again, like this. I'm just going to move my paper to make it easier for me to draw and perhaps keep my hand out of your sight, so you can just see what my pen is doing. I'm trying. So we've got these here. The corners are these parts. You know, this is sort of like corner, you know, it's this. The corner is at the centre of another square. I think that's the easiest way to describe it. So much easier just to draw and show. So these little petal shapes are going to face inwards or towards the others. Mirrored, there we are. As I grope around for a word to use. And that essentially is it. All that needs to be done is to decide how you colour them. Yesterday, I've got it here still, I did the inside petals, I left those white and I coloured these sections black. And with these ones, I left the outside sections white and I coloured the petals in black. And that gave a really interesting variation. But you could keep the petals white and the outside black on all of them, or all of the petals black and leave the outside bits white, or put patterns within, because, you know, this one is big enough that I could easily put an aura in, or some loops coming out, or even patterns. That's one of the nice things about drawing patterns on a large scale, is you can add so much more to it than you can on these little scales. And that's why I don't use Zentangle sized pieces of paper generally. And A5 is about the smallest I'm comfortable doing, unless I'm doing something like a card or a bookmark or something, which I occasionally am known to do. But I find that size means that you have to draw very tiny, which suits me to a kind of degree, because I do tend to draw things on a much smaller scale than this. Even the 4x4 squares would be a bit big. You know, I prefer this kind of size, that fine detail. But it's also nice to draw them so big you can do other things with them. So A5-ish is sort of my size I use. For other art, I've shown you, I use A4, which is twice as big as A5. And was probably about 6.5 times as big as one Zentangle tile. So it's a lot of space, but I enjoy filling it and leaving some open space as well. So I hope that helps with that one. Now, what other ones did I do? We have these ones here. So I'll do these as a fragment, and I'm going to make them 8 high and most probably 4 wide, because I think these are quite tall and thin. But they are two squares. They're made out of 2 squares that are just reflected. Okay, so I'll do the full one as we've seen me do. And again, it's a question of putting in that central line. And then with these, how did I do those? Yeah, I think I have this here. So I'm splitting top and above that central line, that space there, into 2 equal parts like this. And then I'll split the outside part into, I've done it there, I've missed that line there is wrong. I forgot I was doing it on this one. So if I do the half square, because we can then see what I'm going to do. So if I repeat that here, then that's the first line. The next ones will be here. Nothing in between for a moment. I'm looking. No, there isn't. And then I'm going to reflect this, so like that. Yeah. So you can see this is literally half of this one. Then inside of this, I put some smaller squares. Do the same here. So that was one. And I did another one inside. Now here, I've made this line, this space wider than this one, deliberately, because it's quite nice to play with the thickness. You can make it equal or not. So we've got those there. Then for these, what did we do here with these ones? I'm just looking. Oh yeah, it's the aura lines around them. So I'll go to my finer pen. In fact, let me use this lovely brown. So I didn't do a line from here up. I just auraed on both sides of the line. Like that. And then in my example here, I'll show you, I put circles from the, looks like, actually I have auraed around, yeah I have, and I have auraed around here as well. Again, I'll do those in brown because they stand out as being different from the black. Like that. And then from here to here, this is where I put the circles in, which doesn't make sense when you've just got the individual fragments. But if I draw one in quickly, beside this one. I can't do this one because I've drawn these here. Then here is where I can draw in those circles, and here there would be a big one, a smaller one and a little one. So I could do that there. There are other things you can do, or you can just leave it as it is. And because the line's in. Here, remember, I'd drawn all my lines in pencil, so I was able to remove them. So here, to make that line disappear there, between these, I'll just turn them into little black blobbies. There we go. So let me know. I'm not going to add any shadow to these or anything. Just let me know if that was of help. If you'd like me to do more of these, as well as, you know, finished borders. I haven't done anything new here since yesterday. More intro, or have I? Yeah, I don't know, did I? I can't remember. Don't think I did. But these are the basic, you know, sort of like the repeating pattern, that, you know, the pattern that you repeat to create the border or an overall pattern, because that's what I was going to do, wasn't it? Shall I do that quickly? Shall I? Yeah, let's have a look. Glasses back on. Okay, let me have a look at doing this, because I've got 6 by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 2, 4, that's 4, 6, 8, there. I'll add it, oh yeah, 12 by 12, that would work. But I've got to remember that I need to do, look, 2, 4, 6, so I need that one there. That's my halfway point, top to bottom. Then along here it's every 4 squares like this. So if I do this one, we need to split these in half, and then the others in half. So let me just zoom in for you. There we go. So we've got that there. Okay. So the original pattern has disappeared, but I'm going to do this one. Okay. I'll do this one as an overall pattern. So first step is, oh no, you know what I forgot to do? Ignore that. Oh, silly woman. 2, 4. You know what I forgot to do? Somebody's going to tell me I forgot to split these in half as well. Silly woman. I was thinking, gosh, I'm going to have an enormous lozenge shape there, which is fun, but it's not what I wanted to do. So just leave it there. So let's have a look. So there's those triangles. And then I've got to find the bottom one here, the middle one. So this is the hard thing to keep track of with this. There it is. In fact, to help me, I am going to pop these lines in. And I'll also do these, but what I am going to do is I'm going to go block by block, not pencil line by pencil line. So that makes more sense to draw them in pen first, doesn't it? Yeah. Draw these lines in pen and then pencil lines to divide them. This would make a really long thin lozenge. That would be fun. Oh yeah. I've got space. I have got space to do it if I shrink things down. Okay, so the next one is here. And here. Here. And here. And I actually create more of these shapes, don't I? I do. So we've got those there. But let's have a look at how did I add shadowing to these? Because I think that is what will, oops, wrong way. Let's have a look. So I did within. And this is what will make the difference. I think she says, she's not sure. I'm not being very exact here. I'm hoping I'm still on the screen. I am just. Big drawing. And here. Very meditative. So yeah, so these are exactly the same as this. They just, you know, staggered down, don't they? They alternate down the page, which is fine. It's fab. We've got these crosses in the middle, so I suppose that if you know, the best way to deal with this is actually to draw these central lines in, because then, oh dear goodness, because essentially each one of these, oh, missed one there. Each one of these rectangles is one of the is a fragment of a pattern. So we're going from there to there, there to there. Well, we went up a bit more on this one, but the idea is there, and then these two lines. So you can see that's what this is, and then by reflecting left to right, we get this, and then for the next row down, we'd reflect this top to bottom, so they'd be reflected around this point here. This would be the line of symmetry for reflection. That actually is quite, you know, it's how you put these things together. Me personally, yeah, it's fun. It's nice, little, small, but it's nicer to have, you know, clear, definite fragment that's a pattern you can repeat without all of these lines in. Because the lines are fine, you can make them disappear, you can do something with them. But I quite like having either open space that you can put things in, or where you can, like here, is morph these lines. I couldn't do this here. Can't do this here because of that the lines are being been done in ink. The pencil lines have got a lot to recommend them for playing with things. So I hope this all helps. I hope you're finding it useful. That you saw a bit of my fleecy top. Like I'm in a, I don't know, turquoise today. I don't know. It's just a nice, it's warm. It's quite chilly. So I hope that's helped. I'm going to ask everybody, if you've got this far, I will put it in the comments section, is to leave a comment if you think this is something you'd like to see more of, or like me to do more than I have done, or whether you would like to just me go back to the other way, or a mixture of the two. It's fine. I'm not going to... Marilynn? It's Marilynn? Yeah, it's Marilynn. I'm not going to put close-ups of these in because there's been close-ups in the video. But, yeah, just let me know. Colour, full colour, partly coloured. Which do you prefer? Do you not prefer not me to do this? I don't know. I've enjoyed it. I'm going to say that I have enjoyed it. I do enjoy working on quadrille paper, grid paper, or dot grid paper for geometric patterns like this. It's so easy to get that structure and for things to be regularly laid out, which is what's needed for a geometric pattern. I know we can do things like warp the grids that you use and make it change its way, which would be fun to do. But I quite like, at the moment, I'm quite enjoying this. So it's been nice. It's been fun. I'm smiling. I got lots of colours out and I only used a couple once. Crazy. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope you find this useful. I hope you enjoy following along. I know it's not a new pattern today, but I just want to try this with you. I do. Just want to try it. So until I speak again, look after yourselves. Keep warm if you're somewhere that's getting chillier. Keep cool if you're somewhere where it's getting hotter. And please find time to be creative each and every day. Thanks for joining me. Take care now. Bye-bye.